You know, it was like what when you land on a porn site, most porn sites are quite similar, aren't they? Are the popular ones? They have huge, the ones that get all the traffic, aren't they? What do you see when you land on a porn site, a mainstream porn site?
So you would see a collection of videos. On a homepage, you probably get up to about 40 videos, and you would see that as a kind of as a plethora of choice. But you will come across a lot of what is now called family content or incestual content. And then you will also see a lot of non-consensual behavior. You will see very little affection. You will see quite a lot of rough sex behaviors. You will see quite a lot of derogatory language targeted towards women. That would be typical on a homepage. And that's not even a kind of a subjective experience. Like that's not just what I think I'm seeing, but that's what the research suggests over and over and over again. When people do content analysis on the sites, they code it to look for all of those different things. And that is what we see over and over and over again in every content analysis, slightly different rates, but largely the same type of content on a homepage or in the recommended videos part, for example. Yeah.
I mean, I've stopped watching porn for reasons that, you know, I'll probably talk a bit more about later, because I had really negative, you know, it seemed subtle the way it seemed, you know, like it wouldn't be doing that much to my life, the effect that it would have on me. But when having used it and not used it, the difference in my life was massive. It was huge in my relationships and concentration and all of those things. So I stopped using it. So I don't. But I did used to watch a lot of porn, and when I used to, you know, daily consumption, and when I would watch it, and I would just, you know, it looked great and whatever, but then the name of it would always be, you know, incestual or, you know, or something, and it would just be the most. I used to look at it and just go, like, is that really what people want? You know, like that used to disturb me, thinking, like, are people in society really wanting to consume those names of those things? I'm not entirely sure that. I find it hard to believe that can be what's actually desired by the majority of people. You know, or, you know, it's difficult. I mean, I've written down some of the names that you mentioned. The most popular ones are MILF, shocked and blackmailed, which is sexual assault. You know, mum fucks son after husband dies, incest, and just bizarre. Young teen forced. You know, rape, illegal. You know, I find that shocking. That those things, and I think, you know, I think that my perspective for a male is probably actually, you know, maybe I'm the odd one out now that I'm saying, I'm looking at porn and going like, fuck that, you know, that's fucked up. Because I've been on the other side, you know, I've been consuming that content and written, you know, believing that I was having a good time. In the long run, I think it was actually doing way more harm than it was good. It's kind of like instant gratification, you know. It's one of those short-term highs, long-term lows kind of scenarios, certainly for me. So, I mean, you know, do you think that that's actually what people want, or is it a agenda being pushed by, you know, like people who are powerful in the porn industry?
I think it's both and. You know, it's. The algorithms work in such a way that if people didn't click on it, it wouldn't be there. So I think that's pretty challenging to people who consume. But I also think what the porn industry has learnt over many decades is that when they push taboo, novel, interesting, scary kind of content, that people click on it because they're fascinated by what that would mean or look like. But it doesn't necessarily mean that people watch the whole video, if that makes sense. So it doesn't mean that they sit there and watch the full 5 minutes, but they have clicked on it, and they've probably clicked on enough that now the algorithm will continue to push that content towards them. And if you want to watch porn, you, based on what the industry is trying out and also what you've previously clicked on but not necessarily watched a lot of, you will then just see more of that on your homepage. So your level of control kind of diminishes over time, if that makes sense. What the industry does is that they largely respond to what's happening in society. So a typical example would be that there was a lot of incestual content in Game of Thrones, and then we saw incestual content kind of build and grow in the porn industry. And that would have been a bit of A/B testing. So do people like this? And then let's try it out on a platform of some people. Let's try it on a platform let's not try it on other platforms. And what they would have found is that lots of people clicked on it. So it works. However, I don't think at a core level, kind of if you sat down and asked those people, is this what arouses you and turns you on and you're excited about? They would probably say no. But there is also this concept or this kind of phenomenon of the online disinhibition effect. And there's a new documentary that comes out, that's just come out, called The 15 Minutes of Shame, which is really fantastic. And they talk about, one of the experts on that, the online disinhibition effect, that things that you would never do in real life, that you feel online, you can do. And she likened it to basically like being a bit drunk. That you're functioning actually a little bit differently. Unfortunately, that still means that the homepage that you get next time round will be more of what you clicked on last time. So it's challenging, but I also want people to know that they are part of what I would call an experiment of what works and what doesn't. And the porn industry is always experimenting on people. So you are both part of the experiment and you're also kind of participating in the experiment and its conduction.